Welcome back to the Practice of Being Human. Today, I want to talk about a moment most of us parents know well, and that is when our child, our young adults, begins to express themselves in a way that might activate something in us. And that could be their tone, it could be their independence, or it could be their clothing. And in this case, that is what we're going to be basing today's episode on because I was in conversation with a lovely client of mine, a mom of a young woman who is in her junior year of high school. And the question that the mom started our session with was, how do I approach my daughter, who I feel and believe is dressing a little bit more provocatively than I am comfortable? In sharing this, I just said to her, there's some ways of approaching this that might be different than you've ever considered, but try this on for size and see what you think. It's been very helpful for me in parenting from this direction and this perspective. And I think it's been helpful for some of my other clients. And so it's something I'm going to share with all of you. The question underneath my client's question about how do I approach this with my daughter is really this deeply human question, which is how do I guide her without shaming her? And how do I stay connected without controlling her? That is not an easy ask, but it is absolutely something we can learn to do. It's a muscle we can build. And this is where I think the concept of coherence becomes such a powerful compass in our parenting and, frankly, in all of our relationships. So we can think about coherence as a state of inner alignment. That means when our thoughts, actions, nervous system, and emotions are all congruent, they're all aligning. Our insides are matching with our outsides, as I like to say. And in parenting, coherence means I regulate me first. Before I react, I check my energy. Before I correct, I connect. And before I speak, I breathe. Those three things are super helpful when you are seeking to parent from this place of regulation and congruence. It's the practice of making sure that your frequency matches your intention. So your coherence is really your child's or your young adult's safety. It's their grounding. It's what they're pushing up against and they're being held by. It's a container. And that lands so true because our kids, as we all know, really don't listen to our words nearly as much as they are watching us. They feel our energy. And when we meet them from anxiety or fear or control, our kiddos feel this energy. They feel our anxiety, our fear, our control. But when we meet them from calm and ownership and love and this coherence that we're talking about, their nervous system feels that. It settles. It feels safe. It feels held. And it grounds. That's coherence. When my body and my energy are saying the same thing. How cool is that to teach that to our children? And how cool is it to just help them even experience what that is and what that feels like? So when your child's self-expression triggers you, maybe it's their outfit, their attitude, their choices, the first move is not to react, it's not to fix them, it's to notice you. It's to come back right here, right back to you. Ask yourself these questions. What is this stirring in me? What's coming up in me? Is this about her or him or about my old story? What part of me still equates control with safety? What part of me is being judgmental right now? Where am I feeling a little bit out of control? And that moment of pause is where generational patterns, I believe, start to be rewritten. Because coherence isn't about having no emotion. We are humans. We are going to have emotions, and we are energetic beings, and we are constantly sharing our energy with one another. This is about owning your emotion before you project it, before you react. And it's saying, I feel protective. instead of, you can't go out of the house looking like that. It's like recognizing I'm feeling very protective right now. It's choosing to notice where you are, to name it, and it's choosing curiosity over control in those moments. When we parent from curiosity, we shift from managing behavior to mirroring awareness. And this is huge for our young people. Instead of saying that's too revealing, you can try, when you wear that, I want you to notice, how do you feel in your body? Do you feel confident and powerful? Or do you feel free? Maybe uncomfortable? What is it? Have them notice that. Have them create awareness around that. What's happening inside of them? Instead of telling them what they can't do, help them start to turn it back to their inner compass. What's really going on inside of them? What are they feeling? This opens the door for this young lady. She's a junior in high school. It opens the door for her to check in with herself rather than defend herself. And the mom, as she shared initially when this conversation took place, she said her daughter listened for a few moments and then started to shut down, which is typical. So it's helping her tune into her own inner compass instead of relying on external approval. It's not about policing the outfit, but it's noticing the energy underneath. This is how we teach self-responsibility and discernment, not through control, but through conversation. Our children, I believe, feel safest when our love isn't conditional on their choices. It doesn't mean there are no boundaries, doesn't mean we don't have opinions, but it means our boundaries come from clarity and not reactivity. So we can still hold limits. We can still say, you know what, that outfit just doesn't work for school, or whatever it may be, while keeping our energy warm and grounded. I think that's a different conversation. So we can still hold limits, right? It's not what we say per se, it's more about how we say it in light of what we are trying to convey. Coherence, 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 because this is what allows our children to feel safe. And it allows them to feel safe enough to grow and explore and sometimes fail, knowing that our love is steady beneath it all. Adolescence, young adulthood, life, it is such a sacred initiation. And it's true for them as much as it is for us. Our kids, our young adults are practicing sovereignty. And our work as parents is to practice trust in this process, to let go of control, not because we don't care, but because we've learned that love and control cannot coexist. So to lead, not from fear of who they might become, but from the faith in who they already are, who they're capable of being, who's really deeply in there, right? He or she. They're made of such good things, our young people. And take the time to excavate that, cultivate that, versus controlling them from the outside. Help them learn what's on the inside and guide themselves from there. And we can be their guideposts. I think early on that makes great sense and is a really important part of parenting. But over time, we step back and we allow them to keep stepping more into their own agency and sovereignty. So maybe this week, when your child does something that stirs you and activates you, triggers you, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, am I coherent right now? Am I responding from fear or love? Because when you are coherent, you are contagious in the best possible way. Your calm becomes their calm. Your curiosity becomes the mirror. And your love becomes the steady ground they stand on. What's better than that? This parenting with coherence, it's leading not through control, but through curiosity, ownership, and trust. Thanks for being here. And until next time, keep practicing being human. As far as I know, it's the best gig on this earth. It's one wild, precious life. So one breath, one choice, one moment at a time. And I will see you guys here next week. So much love.